Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom surrounded by green hills and sparkling rivers, there lived a kind-hearted princess named Elara. On her 18th birthday, she was sent on a journey to marry a prince from a distant kingdom, a marriage arranged long ago to unite the two lands in peace. Before she left, her mother gave her two precious gifts, a magical white horse named Falada, who could speak like a human, and a silk handkerchief marked with 3 drops of the queen's blood. "Keep this close to your heart," her mother whispered, "and it will protect you." Accompanied by a servant girl named Raven, Elara began her journey. However, hidden behind Raven's polite smile was a heart full of jealousy. Several days later, while resting beside a river, Elara accidentally dropped the magical handkerchief into the rushing water, and before she could retrieve it, it was gone forever. Seeing this, Raven came up with a cruel plan. That very night, she threatened Elara and declared that from now on she would be the princess, while Elara would become her servant. Alone and without protection, Elara had no choice but to obey. When they finally arrived at the prince's kingdom, everyone welcomed Raven as the royal bride because no one had ever seen the real princess before. Meanwhile, Elara was sent away to work as a simple goose girl. Raven's greatest fear was Falada because the magical horse knew the truth. Afraid that he would expose her secret, she ordered him to be killed. Heartbroken, Elara begged the stable-keeper to place Falada's head above the palace gate so she could see him every day. From then on, whenever she passed through the gate with her geese, she would whisper, "Falada, Falada, are you still there?" And the horse would sadly reply, "If your mother knew your sorrow today, her heart would break from far away." A young goose boy named Conrad overheard these strange conversations. He also noticed that whenever Elara brushed her long golden hair in the meadow, the wind seemed to obey her commands, blowing his hat away whenever he tried to come near her. Curious and confused, Conrad reported everything to the king. The king secretly followed Elara and witnessed the mysterious events for himself. Realizing there was more to this quiet goose girl than anyone knew, he later summoned her and asked for the truth. Unable to reveal her secret directly, Elara was told to tell her story to the fireplace. Believing she was alone, she confessed everything: the stolen identity, Raven's betrayal, and her suffering. Unknown to her, the king was listening from a hidden passage and finally learned the truth. The next day, the king held a grand feast attended by nobles, servants, the prince, and Raven. During the celebration, he told a story about a servant who betrayed her princess, stole her crown, and pretended to be royal. Then he asked what punishment such a person deserved. Without realizing she was trapping herself, Raven proudly replied that such a traitor should be severely punished. The hall fell silent as the king stood and pointed directly at her, declaring that she had judged herself. The truth was finally revealed before everyone. The prince was shocked and immediately turned to Elara, apologizing for failing to recognize who she truly was. But Elara's heart was gentle, and she forgave him, saying that the truth had finally come to light. Soon afterward, Elara was restored to her rightful place as princess, and the kingdom celebrated with music, dancing, and joy. The prince and Elara were married in a magnificent ceremony and ruled the kingdom with wisdom, kindness, and compassion. Raven lost everything she had stolen through deceit, while Elara finally became the queen she was always meant to be. And so, the girl who once cared for geese found her rightful place on the throne, proving that lies may wear a crown for a while, but the truth always finds its way back in the end.